Hey guys, good afternoon. It's Cali. Today I'm going to show you how I used an orange and some cloves to make these beautiful, beautiful orange pomander balls. These are perfect for the holiday season. I like to make them to celebrate the winter solstice and the return of the sun. The orange and the cloves and the cinnamon all represent fire and warmth, and the days are getting longer, and this brings all this back into your home. They smell amazing. They're super simple to make. You can do these with your kids or your grandkids, and this is a craft that I used to do with my mom and my sister, I think my grandma too. So if you just stick around, I will show you how I created some of these with some really simple ingredients, and you will dry these out and have them for years to come. You can use them in your drawers to freshen your clothes. They repel bugs and moths, and again, they just smell amazing. You can hang them on your tree or just around the home. I'm sure you're going to have as much fun making these as I did. So stick around and I'll show you how I do it. Okay guys, I'm going to show you what we're going to use today. I used some California navel oranges. The thicker the skin, the better with these. Much easier to carve. But use whatever you have on hand. I've also seen these done with lemons, but I chose to use oranges. You're going to use some whole cloves, also ground cloves, as well as allspice, nutmeg, ground cinnamon, and I also chose to use some essential oil. So I used cinnamon bark essential oil. We're going to use various assorted ribbons if you choose to hang your ball, and you could do the colors of your choice. I chose red and orange for the sun associations, as well as green. You could do whatever you want, colors for the holiday season. You'll use some straight pins. You can use big heads, you could use the little flat ones if you want them to be inconspicuous. A small paring knife. Use the edge of this peeler. You could also use a lemon channel knife, which will cut uniform ridges if you want. I did not have one of those, so I made do with what I have. Pair of scissors to cut your ribbon. And then if you choose to hang these like on your tree, or if you want to use something besides the ribbon, you can use jute twine or wire. And if you choose to use those, then you're going to need a long needle to get through your orange. So those are all the supplies that I used. And you're also going to need a paper bag. So I'll be right back and we'll get started. Okay guys, we're going to get started. And first I'm going to show you how to do one with a ribbon. And these are all different and all unique, and you can do them however you want. So I'm just going to show you a couple different examples. Here's one with a green ribbon with just the flat head straight pins used. It's pretty inconspicuous. Here's a wider ribbon that goes all the way around. Again, that I used with the flat head straight pins. Little bow on top. You can hang this from your tree. You could hang it. I have it hanging on the inside of my door when you come in my front door. Here's another one. Okay, so really just your imagination is your only limit here. But I'm going to show you just the basic one, how to get started. We're going to take our orange, and I told you I like to use the cinnamon oil, so I'm just going to take a little bit. Cinnamon is associated with the sun and with fire, and it's good for love and passion and healing and all good things. So I'm just going to rub it on. It'll also help to preserve the orange as well as smell amazing. Now, little goes a long, long way. I'm just going to rub it in, and as I'm rubbing it in, I'm thinking good thoughts and good intentions for a good year and happiness and love for my family. So please be very, very careful with cinnamon oil not to touch your eyes or any delicate areas. Let me just say that. It is extremely, extremely irritating to your skin, and it will burn and hurt and sting. So be very careful to wash your hands carefully. You can skip this part if you don't want to, but I like to put the cinnamon oil first. And again, while I'm, making the whole ornament, I'm thinking good intentions. So we're just going to take, I can't tell you how long to measure it. This is maybe 20 inches or so. I'm going to loop it. And then, you have a top and a bottom of your orange. And we're just going to kind of saddle it here and hold it taut. Now again, when your orange is dry, they will shrink. So that's to be expected. I'm going to use these bigger pins now. And you're just going to place them in. You can put them as close as you like. You could actually make a design with your pins if you want to. I'm just going to keep this real simple here. I should have alternated green and red, but I did not. So these get addicting when you're making them. So, oh, there you go. I guess that green wanted to be there. So you're going to continue all the way around, and then when you get to the top, if you will, to do a nice neat crisscross, I like to put it down. I hope you're seeing this okay. And then turn the ribbon like this. Actually, you know what? I'll pin it there. Just kind of, can you see how I folded that over? Right, and again, I'm going to lift up my pin and use that to go through both sides there. Whoop, she says, and she doesn't do it. There we go. And then you just continue all the way around. So here, you know what? This side I'll do green. And that's it. So we're going to do this all the way around on all sides. Okay, and when you get to the top, same thing. You'll pin it. Okay. And then you can either tie a bow right here, or I like to give it a little hanging room and then just tie a simple bow right up here. Like that. Okay? So again, you can see, like, how I did it here. Here's a better example of the bottom, how I turned it and pinned it. Okay? And again, with the red. So once you have that done, then it's time to put your cloves in. And I thought an interesting fact, the French word for nail is clove. And at first, when I started doing this, I went into the holes with a nail first to make my holes. And then I decided it was a waste of time because you can just push the clove right in. So decide on the pattern you want to make. And at first I started looking for the cloves with the little balls on top because I thought it looked so pretty. See how the actual little seed is here? But they keep falling off and you'll make yourself crazy. But feel free to make yourself crazy if you'd like, trying to keep them all intact. But I just like to kind of follow the contours of the ribbon. And you're just pushing these cloves in. And again, as you're doing it, you're thinking good thoughts. You're thinking love and happiness and prosperity for the home, the warmth of the returning sun. The days are getting longer, even though it's cold outside. All these good things. So you can do the patterns of your choice, you guys. This gets really addicting, like I said. And, this is an example. That's all I did here. I just followed the contours of the ribbon, okay? This one, I actually filled in. I went back and I filled in, and these look a little dusty because they have powdered cinnamon on them. I filled in all the areas. This one, you can see that I just took a pencil and lightly drew a spiral, double spiral pattern and followed that around. You could do diamonds. Take a look on Pinterest. There's a million pictures. People have amazing ideas. Like I said, that lemon channel knife. You know what? So that's how you do it with the ribbon. And then I showed you, or I will show you, a couple that I did without the ribbon. And I'm just going to display these in a bowl. I started at the top and just spiraled down. Again, if you want, you can use a light paring knife as a guide. You could use a pencil if you kind of dig in deep. Try not to get through to the flesh, the actual juice of the orange. Try to stay in the skin. That's why it's better with a thicker skinned orange. But it's easy to transfer a design. And even if you want to do that lightly with a knife or a pencil, and then just put some powdered cinnamon on top of it, that will bring out the design and be easier for you to follow that way. But there's no right or wrong here. Of course, I had to do a pentacle for the season. And this one, I was intrigued by the pictures that I had seen using the lemon channel knife. And all I did for this guy was I took that paring knife. First, you can actually use the side of a peeler if you want, like to go in at an angle, kind of. But I had a hard time controlling any, look at that. It just kind of, I wasn't happy with it. You need that channel knife tool. So then I thought, well, you know what? Because I wanted to do this spiral one, and so all I did was I took a paring knife and I started at the top and I just went around, and be very careful. Again, if you're doing this with children, obviously this part you're going to supervise, but I just dragged it around in a spiral, around and around, and filled in. Like I said, you guys can probably see these lines here, but if you can't, you can rub powdered cinnamon on this and it will show up. And then you just poke your cloves right in the holes in the line that you made, all the way around. And these aren't quick, it really forces you to take time and care, and you're thinking about family and friends, and they're just wonderful. It's a great way to spend time. You can just be even watching a movie or listening to music for the season or whatever. But anyway, so I did that, and then I cut a identical line on the other side of this spiral, okay, all the way around, just like I started, and then I kind of lifted the peel out. So that gave me these channels that I just filled in. Does that make sense? So I kind of, I did the spiral, and then I did another cut right next to it, right? And then carefully went and just lifted this peel here. So it left the pith, the white part underneath, but it took the skin off. So once I had a channel like that, and again, you could do any design that you want, then I just went back and put the cloves in and filled them up, So once you get all that, and if you don't want to use a ribbon or do a ball, you can take a big long needle, all right, and either tie wire, use wire through it. This is so if you want to like attach one of these to a pump, a Christmas tree or something, and then just Again, be careful, but go right through the orange. And hopefully you have a real long needle. I happen to have a real long needle. And then you just pull it through, and you can cut it off and knot it on the end and use these to tie around. So that's also an option if you'd like. Okay, so once you have all that done, then you're going to take a brown paper bag or a box, shoe box, and put all your completed beautiful oranges together. Don't worry about the ribbons getting dirty or anything. The cinnamon will brush off. And you're going to put them into a box or a bag, probably for about a week. And I like to pat them and make a mixture of spices, okay? Like approximate. I don't really measure, but I want to say like a tablespoon of everything. So a tablespoon of ground cinnamon, a tablespoon of ground cloves, a tablespoon of nutmeg, a tablespoon of allspice. And if you have orris root too, you can use that. And cover them really well. And the cinnamon oil will help them to stick, but even the citrus oil on the oranges, right? So cover them, put them in the bag, leave them undisturbed for about a week. And let me tell you guys, these things last for years. They will shrink up a little bit, but you will have them for years to come. And if you do, a couple each year, you'll have a nice collection. They're beautiful to display. They make amazing gifts. And I hope this inspires you to make some of your own. If you do, please share with me, and I would love to see what you came up with. And I'm sending you guys many, many blessings for a wonderful, wonderful holiday season. And I will talk to you very soon. Have a beautiful day. Take care. Bye-bye.